Hi, Michael. Thanks for taking the time to with me today. How have you been doing during these strange times?
Hey Jack, how you doing? I've been looking forward to our meeting, and I've been doing pretty well actually. How about
Great.
yourself?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. So, despite everything that's been going on in the world, business has been actually very good for us recently. With more people staying at home, our farm and garden supplies have been selling through the roof.
Well, Jack, that's great to hear, and I admire the fact that your business has been going strong for what is it, 20 years now?
Yeah, 20 years.
Wow, congratulations. Now actually, would you mind pulling up the agenda that I emailed you prior to our meeting?
Yeah. Thanks for the congratulations, and I've got it right here. So, now let's get down to business.
Yeah, sure thing, Jack. So I understand that you and American Farm and Garden Supply are looking for a complete change in your customer relationship management software. And we think that salesforce.com would actually be a perfect fit for you guys. So why don't we start by you telling me any issues or any roadblocks that you're experiencing with your current system?
Well, first of all, we actually don't have an automated CRM program currently. So our salespeople and accountants just keep track of customers and sales offline through Excel spreadsheets, and later kind of transfer the data in between them to keep them up to date, which is often a very tedious and disorganized process.
Yeah, I feel like that could lead to a lot of wasted time and disorganization. But go on though. So,
Definitely. Also, I'm proud to announce we're in the process of expanding to new retail locations throughout the Southeast, as well as our online store. And I'm kind of worried about how we're going to be able to keep track of an influx of new customers, while still being under our current system.
yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, Jack, that's going to be quite the task. I mean, it can be very tough to keep organized with your growing customer base, and even with a small customer base, it still takes a lot of time. So,
Yeah, funny you say that. Um, that brings me to my next problem, actually. So, with many customers spread throughout different databases, it can be a very difficult and time consuming process to put it all together while keeping track of our individual client metrics. We need a centralized CRM program to unify our client records and track specific sales information, such as call times, call durations, and where clients and consultants stand within our sales process, etc.
well, frankly, Jack, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you out. So, let me ask you this question: how much time per week do you think you spend ensuring the accuracy of your data entries?
Um, Probably pushing 10 hours a week nowadays.
I probably don't like that, do you?
No, you know, at, as you'd imagine, like I've got a lot on my plate right now as CEO, and I could certainly use, some extra hours in moving our business forward as opposed to kind of checking up on past dealings.
Yeah, so I mean, if I could get you those extra 10 hours, like that'd be pretty beneficial for you, know? Because as CEO, I know you want to use your time wisely. And going back to what you said earlier about how all your sales force uses Excel, I'm just curious, how you think your future is going to look over the next 5 years without upgrading to a more advanced platform. I think that 10 hours might grow, don't you?
Yeah. Now that you say that, I can't spend any more time, going back and cross-referencing sales data on these offline Excel books. Um, and to be honest, I don't think our current system can keep up with our plans for expansion either. I want to be able to streamline all my data and not have to worry about miscommunications.
Yeah, that's going to be very important as you expand. Let me ask you another question, Jack. If a client of yours received the wrong product or even the wrong amount of a product due to a communication error caused by your current system, how do you think that would impact your company?
Well, actually, that happened to us last year. Um, we accidentally shipped a certain client one weed whacker of the wrong make when he ordered 10. Um, of a different weed whacker. And so we actually ended up losing that client because that's kind of unacceptable client service. And it's an inexcusable error, which shouldn't happen. And that's another reason why we need to get away from our current system.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sorry you lost that client, but I can promise you that if you're with us, you wouldn't. So Jack, I understand that with your high priority of customer satisfaction, that problem can't happen again, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely not.
So the good news is that that's something that can be prevented with Salesforce.com. So actually, if you scroll to the bottom of that of the meeting agenda that I sent you, you'll see a link to our website. Would you mind going in and pulling that up and following along so I can show you what Salesforce has to offer?
Yeah, I have it right here. Clicking on it. Yeah, just give me 1 second. It's loading up. Internet's a little
Yeah,
slow.
no, take whenever you're ready. Just let me know when it's loaded up. In the meantime, actually, I have one more question for you. So I noticed that your sales are up 12% over the last year, which is great, by the way, especially during the pandemic. But how would you feel if we could bring that number to an increase of 16% for the next year?
Well, obviously, I'm going to say that it would be great, but how exactly do you plan on doing that?
Why don't I just show you? Do you have that? Is that website loaded yet?
Yeah, I've got it up now, and wow, it looks very nice and organized.
Well, exactly, Jack. That's what we do here. Our goal is to keep all of your sales information nice and tidy and all of your customer relationships strong. So what you're looking at is the interface of your store, and that's exactly what your entire Salesforce is going to see when they log in. Would you mind clicking on the clients tab for me?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, you got it up in the top left. So when you click on that, you'll be brought to an alphabetical listing of all of your current clients and your past clients. And it comes with many filters to search for them and group them based off any aspect you want to dive into. So if you click on a client's name, you're going to be directed to their client page. And here you're actually able to record and retrieve notes about this client, with notes such as like which consultant they've been working with, when they were last contacted, how they were last contacted, whether it was via phone, email, etc., and any duration of the phone calls with them, and as well as where they are in the buying process, that right there is probably the most important part, because you'll know whether someone's assured they're buying for sure, whether you need to advance on them, whether they're thinking about it and you just need to pursue more. So I think that right there is one of the main functions that we provide. But essentially, all of these functionalities are going to help you keep tabs on your clients in the same place as in your Salesforce.com, and in real time, and you'll be avoiding these issues that you've been facing managing your client data.
Wow, that looks very nice. Please continue.
Yeah. So let me answer your question about how it will help you sustain your growth. So Salesforce's Lead Genie, we actually automatically distribute website leads to your sales floor, alleviating the need for you guys to shift through them yourself. So this capability, it should allow American and Farm and Garden Supply to not only handle your leads faster, but also manage them, more effectively. So revenues and sales records will all be stored together in the cloud, accessible from any location at any time, and it updates across servers as right when salespeople make entries across all of your divisions.
Wow, that looks great, and I'm pretty impressed with this website. But I have to ask now. So, what's your pricing kind of look like? Surely a CRM platform with all these capabilities can't be very cheap nowadays.
Well, Jack, I'm glad you brought that up. And let's get for your business specifically. I think that we offer many different packages, but I think the Salesforce Enterprise package would be the best fit for you. So this program, it comes down to $150 per user per month. So for your entire company at all of your locations, it will come to a $36,000 per month to supply every employee at all of your locations. So that may sound, it's really a small price to pay, especially after you consider our projections of increasing your revenue growth rate by 4% from your current 12 to our projected 16%. And if we could get down to numbers, that's a total net increase of $20 million in your annual revenues. Would you say that that would be a good enough return for 36,000?
I mean, going off the numbers, absolutely. But I just have a few questions as to how exactly you're gonna, bring these revenues up by 4% and by 20 million a year. I mean, that sounds great, but it almost sounds too good to be true.
Jack, it's funny you say that. Almost every company or representative I talk to, I get that exact same question. And you got to remember that we're not only providing you with an effective way to manage your customers and to streamline your business. We also help you quickly and safely expand on a large scale, which, as you said earlier, is your goal. But you also said that you're not going to be able to do that with the current system that you have.
Right. Well, I have to say, Michael, I'm very impressed, with your presentation here, and I'm extremely interested. So I'm going to have to obviously talk it over with Tammy and Bill, our other supervising officers, as well as a few other executives throughout the company before a decision can be reached. But I like what I hear, and I'd like to move forward in the sales process with this. After I can talk to them.
Yeah, Jack, that sounds great. If you want to let me know if you want to set up a time where the four of us could chat, or if there's other executives you want to bring on, that would also be great. I'd love for everyone's input. Would you like to meet maybe next week around the same time?
Yeah, so I'll get back to you with a specific time because I got to talk to Tammy and Bill, but about this time next week should work for me. And then I'll be in touch with a meeting time that works for us.
All right, sounds good. And I'm gonna send a similar agenda, for our meeting as of this one for next week when the time comes.
Okay, perfect. Well, I look forward to our next meeting, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
All right, sounds good. I'll be in touch. Bye, Jack.
Bye.